What's going on, people? So this is live, right? I mean, it said that, but it was like slow to say it, so now I don't really trust it. So I'm gonna wait on this YouTube thing to refresh and make sure things are actually happening and that the sound is muted. Okay, yeah. So I don't know, might have cut off some of the beginning. I don't really know. Doesn't really matter either now, does it? So either way, got some shoes here in this box. Hopefully, the box is pretty light, so I'm hoping it's not empty, but I'll find out in a second. So either way, I got to get this whole thing knocked out relatively quickly, so that way I can watch Royal Rumble in some amount of time. I mean, maybe it's not for like a couple hours. I honestly have no idea. I was sitting in the room there, back in the lab, if you will, editing a pro wrestling crate video because, earlier today I was recording a pro wrestling crate video. So hopefully I'll get that out tonight, which shouldn't be a problem because I actually have done all the editing. I just need to go back and add in what do you call those little words that pop up across the screen, little footnotes and whatnot. Well, I tried to catch it, almost caught it. But these are pretty slippery pants. These Adidas pants right here. I don't know if you can see that. They're great for running though. I actually went out and run in these a couple days ago. Got a really good run time too. Well, it was good for me. I mean, I haven't run in a while, and it was like the first mile was like, I only ran like a mile and a half about, but the first mile was like 7:30, something like that. So not bad for not having done it in a bit. So either way, there's that, right? Is that going to focus a little bit? Yeah, not too bad, I guess. So there you go. Now you know why the box was extra light, right? So let's go ahead and open this up, right? See what's going on in here. Well, these are certainly festive looking. Yeah, look at that. So let's see what's going on with this. I'll do like not the full on review, but I'll cover some of the highlights, I suppose, right? Same thing like I normally do. Then I'll break out. I got a pair of these standard Ultra Boost 22s down here. You can't see those, but trust me, you'll see them in a second. Do a quick comparison, and that'll be the end of that, I suppose. So either way, this right here, for those who didn't quite catch it, is the Adidas Ultra Boost Light. I was about to say 22 Light, but it's just Ultra Boost Light. And the new Scarlet colorway, or barely Scarlet, something Scarlet is what I saw. Better Scarlet? I think it's Better Scarlet. Either way, so these look, I guess that's just the look, because I was like, man, these look like they have been used, but that's really just the color of the outsole, which is kind of a dirty thing. Either way, let's go ahead and talk about it, right? So, like I said, down there, the outsole is a little bit different. So let's pull this other one out real quick. So, to see, like it's like almost the same color as this. This is the Magic Gray from some years ago. So that's why I was saying like they look kind of used or whatever. Let's get a little bit more light going on in here. Bring that up, bring that down. All right. If you have hue lights, you should totally invest in one of these hue dials. It's super convenient. So anyway, so down across the bottom, like I was saying, there is a slight difference. This being the light, this being the original 22. So this just kind of retooled some stuff down in there. I'll probably look it up before I do the actual review to see what all is really going on or whatever, what they may have changed. Otherwise, the midsole is still looking fairly similar. So you still got like that big chunky piece in the back, right? This one, same as you saw over here, just this one looks a little bit more festive. It's got all these little speckles in here, which you can kind of feel just a little bit. Actually, no, I take that back. There's just like some layers, textures on the actual boost. That's what I was feeling, not the actual dots there. So CM Punk is the answer to that question. So you have that going on. It's pretty decent or whatever. Then as far as like the upper goes, there is a similar styling, though is different layout, right? Which is the same thing they've always done with like the various Ultra Boost models. So if you look at these compared to, you look at the light compared to the 22, it's like looking at the 21 compared to the 22 or the 19 compared to the 20, all that, right? Minor differences perhaps. But either way, so that's what's going on as far as the visual goes. On the sidelines here, this one, like they have a design that kind of creeps all the way up through the back, which was similar to how things were on the Ultra Boost 21. The Ultra Boost 22, the design stopped there and it had like kind of like a weird little layer between the cage. So that way, if you looked at it, you could actually see on the cage like the actual design in there. It's kind of cool. That's the angle, kind of. But either way, so upper-wise, it's looking pretty similar. So that's nice. I do see that they got rid of, see that little block on the top of here? Kind of see that little block thing going on? It seemed like they got rid of that. This time around, it's just flat, which is nice. Kind of like the, was it the 19s and the 20s, I think, were like that? Because those were the ones that had this sort of upper to them. That's where that whole thing started. Actually, I have a pair of 19s right down here next to me for some reason. And yeah, just like I was saying, on the ultraboost 19, the top piece was kind of flat. Over here, it's still flat. This just had a little flap of like some kind of stitched on thing. This doesn't. So there's that for you. Otherwise, things are looking very, very similar, even down to what's going on right there in the tongue. Got some holes for perforation. You don't seem to have as many as you do over here, but it looks like this thing is just going to be overall lighter anyway. So you probably have more, you're going to have more breathability, I'm sure of it. Otherwise, on the inside, everything's looking the same in there, right? Let's see. This just says something about ending plastic waste, and that being that. So that's cool. I mean, now I will say, right, giving you like the personal thoughts on this particular shoe, I don't think this color is all that amazing, right? But it was $70, and I really wanted to try out this model. And so I figured, you know what? That's enough for me. It's low enough that I don't mind if this is a waste of money or something, which I don't think it will be, because the ultraboost line, even the 20s, which I historically have talked down on, even those aren't bad. I just don't prefer them over the others. So I'm sure this will be just fine. Real quick, gonna slip this on the old feet, make sure it fits like I expected it to. And it does. Feels really nice, actually. Are they kind of a snug fit like the previous ultraboosts and such? Yeah, they are, because they have that whole sock-like thing going on. So if you're like some kind of big-footed type person or whatever, I mean, I don't think this cage is really going to expand too much for you. So you might want to consider getting a bigger shoe or something, but I don't know, man. My feet are fine with this whole true to size situation that's going on. So if you agree with me on other things that I've talked about, maybe you'd agree with me on these. But what you could do, if you happen to have access to the internet, is go on to said internet, look at other videos, because these are not new, people, not even a little bit. So you can find all kinds of reviews out there, watch those, listen to those, whatever the case is, see what the populace is saying on the internet, right? Nobody is the actual authority or whatever. It still comes down to you and how you feel, how your feet are, how you like your shoes to fit, a whole lot of factors that are based on you. So whenever you hear stuff, just kind of, use it as something to think about. But you should probably be able to hit your local outlets, try these on in whatever colors they have available. And then you can go online and wait for the actual big sales. So that way you can get the color you truly want for a price you're willing to pay. Because as they keep pumping these things out, they got to go somewhere. They can't all stay on these digital shelves, right? There's only so much space in the world. They got to get these on the feet of people. So all in all, right? Yeah, it's not the greatest color in my opinion. I like the red and, it's cool speckles, but there were other ones that I saw that I liked more, but they also wanted more dollars for them, and that was kind of where we didn't see eye to eye. So otherwise, though, I think these are pretty decent. So like I was saying, just real quick recap of things. Very similar to the ultraboost 22, right? This was actually the first of the two pairs of ultraboost 22s that I bought. So it's cool. I got no problems with the look, kind of, Ultimately, though, like these are really good running shoes. So if you're looking for an Adidas running shoe and you want an Adidas specifically, yeah, you can't go wrong with these. So I'm going to assume that you'd be just as good or even better off with these because, again, they're a little bit lighter. So they maybe won't weigh you down so much. Like the change in the bottom here, I don't know what they did with like the torsion system and all that, but it's probably retooled to give you a little bit more push off and all that good stuff. But they have that linear energy propulsion system or something, the LEP thing. Can't remember what it stood for, but it's probably going to be pretty solid. Though I will say, this ultraboost 19, these are kind of older, right, as a model. Luckily, I have enough pairs of these that none of them are actually like really worn in or whatever, because I still prefer these as my preferred running shoe overall of what Adidas offers. And I only say that because like they just look better, right? They've got some decent stitching and all that good stuff to kind of like give you a nice feel, but the look is kind of like the deciding factor sometimes. And I'm not going to sit here and talk down on these or whatever. I've run in them, I've got no complaints, but I do really like these. But since they don't make them anymore, it's kind of like why even bring it up, I suppose, unless you happen to see some. I mean, I guess they're still out there to be bought, probably on like StockX's and eBay's and such. But it's something to consider. But again, if these are going to be around at like $70 or something, where the retail is actually like 180, may as well just consider sticking with something that's relevant, and go with these. They also are a little bit more eco-friendly, so you can feel good about yourself after you buy them. So there is that. That being that, though, I don't think I have anything else to really say about these. I said the sizing and the comfort-wise and all that good stuff. So once I get a little more time with these, I'll probably do the review, because I got to walk around in them, see what I really think. You know what I'm saying? So get that whole thing figured out. Hopefully this review will be up in the next couple days. It's not like last year where I was like just inundated with so many things to do. Now it's just like I was looking at my little schedule of uploads to create and whatnot over the next like 2 weeks or so. Yeah, most of that is pretty much done already. It's a lot of talking and a lot of like a couple pictures here and there, maybe. This is like the only thing that's going to take some actual work. And given that it's not new, like I said, it's going to be one of those shorter reviews. So maybe just a quick comparison of the 22 to the light. Throw a little on feet action in there and be done with it. We'll see how it goes though. Let's see, are Yeezy 700 V3 good shoes? That's not a question to be really answered, honestly. And I say that because what do you define as a good shoe, right? Like to me, I look at it as a good shoe as like, okay, this is something that's cheap, it's affordable, it does what I want it to do, and it's available in a bunch of colors. That's a good shoe to me, right? That, to me, the 700 V3 does not fit in that realm. So I would say, based off of my perception of good shoe, no, it's not. But a lot of people would disagree. I don't know, what their standards are or what they think about the 700 V3. I'm just saying I could assume that a lot of people would not look at it as bad. But, again, it's kind of one of those questions you got to define the criteria before you ask it sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really help you on that if you're looking at buying a pair and that's why you're asking. If you like it, go ahead and get it. Do you, man? Those are nice. You're going to get the boost that come pre-dirty already. I don't even know what that means, so I'm just going to let you do whatever you want with that question. So other than that, I don't have anything else to say. I don't have any content to promote or whatever, because I usually promote stuff within other videos if they're relevant. So there is that. So unless anybody else out there has any more questions, there's one right there. I have the V2 700s trying to figure out if they'd be an upgrade. I feel what you're saying though. Yeah, I mean, it's an upgrade in the sense that it's V2 to V3, right? So I mean, there is that, but I mean, any idiot could tell you that. So it really, like I said, comes down to if you look at it and you see something and you're like, I need to have that. That is something that I need in my life for sure. Go ahead and do it, right? It's probably not going to be terrible, right? Is it going to change your life? Likely not. Are you going to feel better once you get it in hand? Also, likely not. Sometimes if you're like me, you get the new thing, you're like, oh yeah, this is all right. Glad I got it. And then you just have it and it's on to like mentally onto the next thing. So that's why another reason I'm not really so big on buying a whole lot of stuff right now, because I have plenty that I need to deal with as far as like actually use it. Fun fact for you, which isn't really so fun. It's a little bit depressing, honestly. Out of all the shoes that I bought last year, I've worn like 3 of them. 5 if you want to count the slides, but the slides don't leave the house. That's a little different. And I bought 30, was it 34 or 35? I think it was 35 if I did the math right. So yeah, that's just kind of, again, where my mind is right about now. Let's see. Adidas made a Matsumasa says, I like those. Nice color. I appreciate it. Yeah. I thought about getting these for my dad because he's a big red fan, but the last pair of ultraboost 22s that I got him was like the all red one. So I'm like, maybe I'll take a break from the red. Even got him some Adlet 22s in the same color. So dude's covered on red shoes for now, but he does really like it. He likes the color a lot, that is. Let's see. Adidas made a boost that comes pre-dirty already. That sounds nasty. So no, thank you. Is that an Ultra Boost Light, aka 23? It's an Ultra Boost Light. Let's see. And then he says facts. Okay, cool. Yes. So there's that. From me to you. Have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, whatever it is, wherever you are. I'm going to end this little live stream unless somebody throws something in there before I like finish talking and can hit this end button. Otherwise, I'm just going to be moseying on my way, go finish editing that Pro Wrestling Crate video. Maybe eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich because that's sounding pretty all right about now, you know? Yeah, it really is. And then watch Royal Rumble and hope that CM Punk walks away with well, I guess you don't walk away with anything, but you walk away with something in here if you win the Royal Rumble. And you get to brag about it for years to come. So you finally caught a live stream and now it's over. That's mostly my fault because the thing is I set these lives for like, oh, I'm going to do this at 5 o'clock. That's never true. It's always a lie, right? Because what it is, around 4 or whatever, when I finish getting all my pictures for the Pro Wrestling Crate thing, I set up this live stream, said, yeah, 5 o'clock. That'll give me enough time to get this whole thing going. I go, I edit, I do some stuff. And then whenever that wraps up, I just come back in here and just sit down and start talking. So yeah, if you ever see like a live stream is going to start at whatever time, yeah, it's probably a safe bet to subtract like 30 minutes to an hour sometimes because it's just not accurate. I just put it out there so people know that something's going to happen. And if you want to, you can click that little notification thing. It's overrated. People are always harping on, oh, you got to click the bell. It's like, the heck with that bell, dude, you know? Either way, enough of my rambling about things that don't really matter. You caught it? Cool. If you want to see the whole thing, there's some kind of rewind button somewhere around here, I suppose, right? But that being that, once again, I'm going to head on out. Thanks for everybody that stopped in to listen to my rants and ramblings about shoes and such. I'll do it again sometime, more than likely. Can't say when, though, because, again, nothing's on the way in. So there's that. Later, people.